This week on Gran Turismo, we're racing vans in Daily Race A. Daily Race B, we see a massive crash as we're at Sardegna. And in Daily Race C, well, it's Spa. 24 lap. Let me go for a 2-for-1. Hello everyone and welcome back to a Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2024, week 42, and Gran Turismo are finally using it. Yes, the brand new car that came, it's the Toyota Hiace van, or actually I don't know how to pronounce that, but there it is, it's the van. We're racing vans in Daily Race A. We're doing 4 laps at Tokyo Central Clockwise. It's a grid start, comfort soft tyres, and tyres, what fuel and tyre wear. Not that that matters. DR is off and you get to race this van around the circuit where there is no braking zones whatsoever. Now, some of you won't like this fact, but I love the fact they're actually using one of the new cars here. I feel they should start doing this more and more often. Now, if you don't like it, there are Race B and Race C timestamps there for you if you do want to jump to those daily races. However, we do Daily Race A, and I know I just said do. That's unfortunate. Here are the key statistics for Daily Race A. We've used this track 4 times. The last time was on the 15th of July. And there are walls. That is the main issue here. And the rev limiter, because you're going to get very close to it. And the second you go to 5th gear is the second you start losing power. That's all you need to know for this daily race. Let's jump into this one then and let's have a look exactly what happens. And the lap guide, or the one corner you need to know about, will be at the very end. Here we are then at the start of this one. Who's joining me? Because obviously some of the daily races are a little longer than normal this week. We've got Max Power in there. Blue Racer ahead of him. Now, I put traction control on one. I had no idea whether I needed it for this van, but let's find out. Here we go. A tiny bit, actually, believe it or not. You do have to be careful very quickly. You're going to get very close to the limiter in this car, so make sure you do change gear very early. And you can see Max Power on the right-hand side. Actually indicated to let me go on the left-hand side here as I get the jump start on Max Power, which is weird because there was no penalty checks. You didn't have to hold the brake. No idea whether Max Power did hold the brake or not, but here we go then in towards technically turn 2, turn 1, whatever turn this is. And it's flat out. And we're going to advance further on into the lap where we go into this fast right-hander, which is flat out. In fact, most of the lap is flat out here. Now, Dutchy's had an issue there in the DHL van, and we're going to bump draft Blue Racer here to try and get past Dutchy then as we head down in towards this right-hander as we go into here. The DHL van, Dutchy there on the left-hand side, and we are passed up into P7. Some contact up ahead there. As we continue into this right-hander, you'll notice the brake pedal hasn't been touched yet. No idea whether they come with a brake pedal in real life or not. Hodgson there, using the barrier. That's not the way to do it. We give Hodgson a big old bump draft, putting a dent to it. And I think that was, who was that? That was not Dutchy give me a bump draft. I have no idea who gave me a bump draft there, but I appreciate it. As we go into the left-hander then, in we go side by side with Blue Racer. Trying to avoid the barrier. We slightly clip it in. Hodgson hits it harder. And once again, another bump draft for Hodgson. I'm helping you out here massively, mate, as we go into this right-hander. Nice to see Hodgson in this one. We continue on through here then and head towards that line. And Blue Racer getting back past then in that blue van with the GoPro livery on the back, or sticker on the back. Right, in towards turn 2, technically, into the right-hander we go. In 5th gear, we probably should be in 4th there, very close to Blue Racer there. I think Blue Racer may have clipped the barrier as we continue on. We should be in 4th gear right now, and we're in 5th. Make sure you are in 4th. If you are anywhere near 87 miles an hour or lower, it's 4th gear, not 5th. It's 5th from 88 onwards. As we go up here, we've got a nice bump draft from behind. I appreciate that, and that was a bit more speedy. I think it was on 200% as we go through here, and we're into P6. So into the right-hander we go. Hodgson's having a big old battle with a French driver up ahead, Jean DD777. Maybe they're a bit lucky here. I'm going to get lucky though, going around the outside of Hodgson then as we head towards the left-hander. So I'll be on the inside here as we go through here then. Oh, we're going to get past Hodgson. That is the question. Oh, I can't go over just yet. Hodgson's still just can't get in that slipstream of Jean up ahead as we go into this left-hander. I'm keeping it nice and tight here. Hodgson unfortunately goes into the barrier. Now, at the time, I was questioning myself whether I forced Hodgson into the barrier. And we'll have a look at that in the bloopers. I felt I didn't, but it was in the back of my mind that maybe it was and I wasn't aware of it. Even so, we continue on here. We're going to fast forward a little bit because you don't want to see this van in a straight line. You want to see me overtaking people as we go on the inside of Jean then. As into the right-hander we go, heading down the hill. Can we catch the Spanish driver up next then as we are now hitting 90 miles an hour? My word, that is some speed and a half. Right, for this last corner. So you want to lift off at the exit of the tunnel here. Penultimate corner here. We're not going to catch the leaders. So you lift off, turn in and keep it nice and tight and remain above 80 miles an hour. For the final corner, you're looking for that yellow sign there. It's the right-hand turn. It basically says it there. You're going to lift off. And all you're going to try and do is maintain 79 miles an hour through this corner. That's all you're going to try and do. You may drop below it. I think I dropped below it here in the race, but 79 is the goal. 77 there I hit. And I accelerate through, and I didn't hit the brake once in that entire race. You don't have to either, so you don't need a lap guide either. That's going to be it for this race. However, I have given this race a score, as I always do. The details will be down below. I've given it an 8 out of 10. Yes. Now, if you're wondering why, I say check out the comment down below. There's a pinned comment there, and it will tell you all the information to do with the scoring system I am currently using. We jump to daily race B then, no need for a guide there other than what I gave you on the last corner. And we're at Sardegna layout A, and we are in Group 3 machinery as well to go on the inside of dodgy here. We're racing them again. Reward increase of 600%, so well worth some credits here. Rolling start, 5 laps, racing medium tyres, and you can adjust the brake balance. Sardegna layout A is all about speed, okay? So you are going to need the faster cars, so I chose the Toyota Supra. Now, I have mentioned that in the issues here, dangerous fast corners. We've used this track 4 times, twice in terms of this track and car combo, and it's around 47th in the used combo rank, somewhere around there. We last used it 11th of December, so it's quite a while ago when we last used this track, so nice to see it return, and it does have a dangerous turn 1, which I've also referenced in the issue section. I chose the Toyota Supra, as did many others, max power in the Audi R8 then. Let's jump into this one and let's see how it goes. Here we are then, and what else does people play? A lot of Genesis in this one. We've got a Lamborghini in P5. We've got Dodgy in the Porsche. Right, let's kick off this race then. And make sure you do give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying this content as we kick off race B. Rolling start. It is on a straight though, so at least everyone gets a pretty good start here as we head towards turn 1. You've already seen the power of this Toyota Supra. Now go towards the inside here. This is just to avoid getting rear-ended, just in case. I'm not saying anything about the drivers behind. It's just something you should do as well. Just be proactive in terms of your awareness. Now Dutchy gets a little bit of an issue there through the left-hander, and we're going to go on the inside of Dutchy here as we head in towards his left. Max Power also benefited from that mistake. As we continue on into here, we've got somebody off on the right-hand side. They're staying towards the right as well. Really good sportsmanship from that driver there. Really well played indeed. I like seeing stuff like that. You know, they were very well aware. You come back on the circuit, but kept it nice and tight. Was very obvious with what you're doing, so everybody reacted accordingly. How you should race, and it's brilliant to see. Right, onto the back straight we go then. This is where a lot of crashes can happen on lap 1 into this corner. Let's see what happens here. I broke early. That's in max power. In fact, we all survived this one, which is impressive in itself. It really is, because normally into that corner you will see a lot of crashes. Right, the other place you're going to see crashes is just up here. So we're going to go in towards this right-hander, and then as you can see there, the Mazda RX Vision is very tight, and unfortunately, big old crash there. 3 for 1. We take those. Happy days indeed. 3 positions gained up into P9, and there's that Lamborghini I'd mentioned earlier on as well. So that's probably struggling on the straights a little bit. We'll see how much it struggles here as we continue on to start-finish straight, start lap number 2. And you can see there the pull I have on that Lamborghini as we go into the braking zone. Then side by side, we do get it stopped. Give room to the Lamborghini on the outside. He maintains position there. Brilliant defensive drive there from Nico. And unfortunately, we do not get up into P8 for now then. So, in towards the left we go then, slowing the car down over towards the left-hand side as much as we can to prep ourselves for the right. There's some movement up ahead. There's 2 Genesis side by side in the distance. That will bring the pack together here again. I am catching Nico here, but it's not a place I would go for a move normally. I did look, but it's a hard place to go for a move. I really shouldn't have gone for that, to be honest with you. It probably cost me time in the long run. However, it has given me this gap to Nico as we get onto the back straight here, and let's see what kind of run we can have on Nico as we go up here then. Look at this. Look at the speed difference. It is insane, this Toyota Supra. It just pulls for days. It really does. Right, we're going to look down the inside in towards the sharp corner then. On the brakes we go. Released it a little bit just to make sure we got to the corner. Side by side, a little bit of contact. Nothing major here. Nico still on the inside here then as we continue up here. Now, I would highly advise you don't stay on the outside line here because you are going to struggle. So that's why I back out of it. Scare Max Power a little bit there as he came up there. It's very hard to go around the outside on any part of those corners. It's better to stay in line and hope for the crash that inevitably happens in every single race on one of those corners. Right, through the left we go. We've got somebody off up ahead. We've got Mao Crow off there in the Genesis. I think that's a Rory livery there as well. Shout out to Rory. Doing very well. Probably streaming today while this video is released as we go in towards turn 1. And when I say today, I mean Monday. Right, in towards turn 1. Now, we were a little bit deep there. If I'd have hit Nico, I would have said that is entirely on me. However, Nico went around the outside drifting and still kept the position. Really well played by Nico. Now, we just fast forward to this bit here then, because this is a corner I get right quite a lot, but other people get wrong. As you see there, Tuso just gets it wrong in the Supra. Obviously compromised on the exit, and Nico had a run, but look at the Supra's pace. Just starts to pick up pace nice and easy here. This is lap number 3. We're halfway through this race technically now as we head towards the sharp hairpin, and I wasn't sure where to go here. We saw it down Nico on the inside. Does Nico get it stopped? It's a bit of rubbing, nothing major there, and Nico does get the position. Unfortunately, it does compromise me. And Max Power, the ever opportunistic driver, down the inside here. And as I said earlier, don't want to be on the outside here, so I just back out of that to fall in line and hope there's going to be a crash through the left-hander. Is it going to be a crash? No, Max Power does struggle through the left-hander though, and that does give us a run towards the left-hander here, the end of the circuit. Down the inside we go. Very tight line here, and you've got to be running tight as well if you are side by side, just because the road is not that wide. It really isn't. Max Power defensive position though remains in P8. We're still in P9 after trying to get into P8 many times in this race. But once again, the Toyota Supra pulls so much here, and you can see this on the Audi R8. Look at it, it just pulls towards us. It's like it's standing still essentially as we go towards the outside, then hard on the brakes. Max Power on the inside, got to give some room there. Look at this beautiful racing side by side. Bit of smoke up ahead, not sure what's kicking off there. Still side by side with Max Power as we go into the left-hander. Very easy to get this wrong as we saw earlier on, and Max Power just gives that up for now, knowing that I'm going to have the speed on the straight, I imagine, and we can look at catching the pack ahead. So lap number 4 here, the penultimate lap. We're actually getting towards the end of it here. In towards the left we go. And Tuso that runs very wide, just keeps the tyres on the curb, which does mean the car isn't on dirty tyres. Very weird way of working in Gran Turismo. And I did scare them into the left-hander though, and we get the run on the exit. We're up into P7 then. Happy days indeed. What we're going to do, though, is advance towards the final lap then. The back straight here. Nico up ahead once again. The Lamborghini struggling to keep pace with the Toyota Supra. As we go onto the brakes then, we're side by side in towards this corner. Can we do this? No, Nico keeping it around the outside. Really well defended. Nico's absolutely driving sublime here. Big shout out to you, Nico. This is awesome stuff as we continue on up here. So I'm hoping something's going to go wrong here. That's my goal. Hopefully get into that cursed position. In towards the left we go. Nice and tight. Beautifully done. But everybody else up ahead nailing it as well. Final corner. Technically the penultimate corner, but it is the final corner in my books. It's the only one with a braking zone in terms of these last 2 corners. Out we go. No change here. Nico nailed it. The French driver and Italian ahead of them also nailed it. As we go through the right-hander, we're going to head towards the line then. We do have a run on the Lamborghini though. This could come back towards us in the Toyota Supra. We're pulling alongside here, but just not enough time to get there, and we lose out by 0.02 of a second. Good race there with Nico and everybody else really. It was really a clean race in the grand scheme, but yeah, we had an accident. But even so, I've given this a 6.5 out of 10. Remember, the details of those scores are down in a pinned comment down below, and you can see why I've scored it a certain way. Please feel free to reply to that comment if you've got any opinions or want me to change anything. I'm very much trying to keep a decent scoring system going here. Now, turn 1, on the right-hand side, this is the lap guide for you. The red painted barrier, you can also see the brake balance down below that as well, plus 3 BB. But as we go into here, the red painted barrier just before the 100 is my brake marker. Brake in a straight line for this corner. Don't try and turn or anything. Brake in a straight line. Start to release the brake as you go towards the apex, and notice the car will just turn. Use the camber on the inside and exit accordingly. So through here, it's all flat out, nice and easy. Try not to go over the curb too much there. It will bounce the car in a really weird way, as you know with Gran Turismo. Next brake marker, the 50 board. The really nice 50 board here. Now, if you're in a car which just doesn't carry as much speed, you can maybe brake a little bit later and try and use the stadium, but the 50 board, in my book, is the best brake marker here. You actually want to keep this nice and tight because you want to open up the next corner and not be too aggressive for this one. As you go into here, you want to keep as far left as possible. And there's a catch fence there, okay? You want to brake before you get to it. And that's what I'm going to do here. If you brake at it, you're going to run wide and have a really wide line. You don't want that to happen. So, brake before it. Brake nicely, turn in, stay in second gear, let the car roll a little bit through this corner, and then start to accelerate on exit. It's all about this corner. Notice there, I let it roll a little bit, and then I'm off out the corner, and that'll be the end of sector 1. This next corner, a quite tricky one, and we've got 2 markers here. So the first up, the brake marker. It's not the 50 board, it's actually after the 50 board, but it's not too far after. There is a gap in the bushes on the right-hand side, but it's really hard to pick out, and I do use it sometimes, but it's not really advisable in this guide or the practice lap. You do have billboards there, so do brake at the blue billboard in the race. As you come into here then, what you're looking for here is a wide line in, and you're looking for the gap in the trees right there. Okay, so you keep an eye on the trees, there's the gap. When it gets to the center of your screen, you're going to start accelerating. That is your accelerating marker. Now, it's not very obvious to some people. I use this all the time. I think it's a great marker, and it's why I nail this corner quite often, to be honest with you. As you see there, we exit absolutely fine. No understeer at all. Now, you may think, oh, Tidge didn't hit the apex. Yeah, I know, but I still made the corner, which shows just how well that gap works. Right, okay, here we go. So, the left-hander, the sharp left-hander, the row of trees just before the 100 board here. You can see there's a gap, then the start of the first tree. That is your brake marker. Easy brake marker to spot here. You can notice the gap in the trees, then the row of trees starts. So hard on the brakes in a straight line. Drop to second gear, turn in. Just be careful on exit here. Very easy to get power oversteer just due to the grip. And then we continue on out. You can breathe a little bit now. You just want to wind yourself through this part here. Then lift a little bit as you go into here. Keep it as far right as possible. And the end of that concrete curb there is your brake marker. Notice I'm braking a little bit early here. So I'm being a bit cautious on this particular lap. I didn't practice too much for this one. But that curb there is your brake marker. You want to brake and then turn in. You want to aim towards the barrier a little bit here. Just because you want to clip the inside. If you remotely run wide, you're going off into the grass and the barrier. So you do have to try and nail that corner. It's basically a make or break corner that in terms of a lap. The final corner, the 100 board or the start of the concrete curb there are your brake markers for this one. Nice and easy this corner really. It's just braking a straight line, turn in and accelerate out the corner. There's nothing really hard about this particular one. So as we go into here, we release the brakes, we turn in, let the car roll. We're a little bit on the throttle there just to maintain some balance and we continue on. Next corner's flat out. Just make sure you turn in and don't turn in too late because otherwise you will understeer off. So we turn in, we clip the curb, we continue on. And that is a 1:39.9, I think, maybe. I can't even remember what the lap time is. Let's have a look. Yeah, 39.9 there. And what we're going to do now is jump to Daily Race C, where we're at Spa in Group 2 machinery. But this is Spa with a twist, because we're doing 24 laps, which you can see right there. Rolling start, racing medium tyres. That's one fuel times 2 tyre wear. And the brake balance is adjustable. Now, the rolling start's pretty rubbish, as it always is here at Spa. It's amazing. They try and do one change to the race, but don't fix the one issue of this race. Even so, we've done this track 12 times so far, and it's never really been fixed. We've used this once in terms of track and car combo. It's around 79th. Last used on the 22nd of July, this circuit. Loads of grip in this one. Slipstream is strong as well, and if you're on your own, you're going to get quite bored in this race, as we will see going into it. So 24 laps at Spa in Group 2 is around a 15-minute race. So what we'll do is jump straight into this and let's have a look at all the action. Here we are then at the start of the final race. As you can see, many people have picked the NSX. We've got Steezo in the old Lexus. I was tempted for that one, to be honest with you. Now, are you tempted to hit the like and subscribe button? If you are, make sure you do it because it all helps out the channel. It tells me you enjoy the content and you'll also get notified of increased content. So there, I was changing the brake balance. I actually went back to +5 in terms of brake balance because I kind of realized the front tires will get a nuke in here just due to the amount of grip these cars actually have and downforce they have as well. We catch up to max power finally after the dodgy rolling start, and max power has chosen the GTR. Now this car and the GTR, so the NSX and the GTR, very closely matched here, although I would argue the NSX is slightly better. In towards the right we go, and the Lexus there pushed it out wide. We'll look at that one in the bloopers, but we do gain a spot there up into P13 as we advance towards the end of this first lap. Then Max Power's made a move on Lewis on the inside then as we go into left-hand. And I did notice some ghosting there. You may have noticed that as well, which does say to me that you are going to experience cars going inside each other at some point in the chicane. Now, Lewis gives that one up, but confused me massively, but I appreciate it all the same, Lewis, as we go in towards turn number 1. We slow the car down nicely. You're going to boost out of here as quick as we can. I'm going to whack the indicators there and then forget to change gear because I'm a bit of a weapon. Right, here we go then. Lap number 2 in towards the right-hander, the long right-hander here. We're right where we were before with max power. Let's see if we can get by max power this time. So we're going to head towards this quick left-hander, get it turned in as much as we can. That's where the GTR will struggle a little bit just because the NSX is mid-engined, whereas the GTR is not mid-engined. In towards the left we go then. Look at this side-by-side through P1. You do not see that very often. You can see my smile there. You know me. I love a good bit of racing. As long as I'm racing, I'm happy. I don't necessarily have to be winning a race to be enjoying a race. It's all about the side-by-side action and whether you can overtake somebody else or whether they can overtake you and you can defend and all that good stuff. That's racing. That's why I play Gran Turismo. It was the right way go, and you notice here we're catching that big pack up ahead. There's 4 cars in it now, and we're going to make it 6 here, probably 7 actually, because Lewis is right behind me as well. And it's all about trying to get past everybody. So we're only 2 laps in of 24. So it is a long race. I did mention that. 50 minutes in terms of duration for the quickest guys, which does mean it'll be a bit longer for some of your lower races in terms of driver rating. Gonna head towards the bus stop chicane here, then max power goes towards the right. Up ahead, there's a penalty of 0.5. Oh, the Edison's gone off as well, so, well, that's them losing their position. We're actually on the inside of max power, and we get that position as well. 2 for 1. I take those. We've had a 3 for 1 today, and now a 2 for 1. Let's see how it continues then. So in towards the right we go here. Shelty defending from turbochargers. We've got Bahamas in the Lexus then. We don't see that too often here. That's the modern Lexus as well, not like the previous one, which was a classic Lexus Super GT car. As we go into the right-hand. You could argue, because it's a 16 car, I think it's 16, the Lexus, that's a classic car now too. It's nearly 10 years old, but yeah, let's not get into debates around that. As we continue on out of here then, we get a good old run on Bahamas, heading towards Puan, but this time not as alongside as there was on max power, so I decide to back out of this one then as we go into here. Bahamas just clips the curb a little bit on the inside, forces him out wide. That's going to put me on the inside. Outside for this right-hander though, and then what I'm going to try and do is around the outside. Try and maintain that speed, because this is where you're really going to see the top drivers pull away from everybody else. It's something you need to focus on. The more speed you carry in these cars, the more time you will gain automatically. More grip you'll have as well. As we see Ted off in the distance there. We'll have a look at that one in the bloopers. But essentially, you carry an extra 5 miles an hour, you'll actually get more grip because of the downforce. They have so much downforce, these cars, and that's why you'll see the times increase. Up ahead there, Shelty and Norman are side by side. Turbocharger in here as well, so I set up this move because I want to get on the inside. I knew exactly what was going to happen there. I do get alongside them. That's going to be another 2 positions gained in one corner. I love those kind of moves, and we've got Shelty ahead in the TCR delivery. TCR. I love the TCR livery. I love TCR. I think it's amazing. Like, the whole emphasis of the team, the creation of it was initially just to say, you see a TCR acronym against a name, you should be getting a good, fair race. You know, we make mistakes. We've always said that. We do make mistakes. We try and rectify from those mistakes. However, you will get a clean race. We're not going to drive dirty, and that's the whole point here. Shelty does let me go here. I appreciate that, Shelty. Shelty maybe wanting a bit of slipstream here to really pull him along towards No Man Island in P4. Well, at number 7, we're getting closer to No Man's Island, and they have a penalty here. So the penalty line on the way towards Blanchimont. What we're going to do here is go towards the outside here, and we should be past just here as we get to Blanchimont, and we're up into P4 then. So that's another move done. Lap 10 then, we catch up to Muscafy as we go into this right-hander. And this time we are going to have a fight on our hands with the Muscafy machine, the Hoonigan machine, as we continue on through here. Is that an old, does that say VR Hoonigan? I'm not too sure. Anyway, we're going to be alongside Muscafy as we head towards Blanchimont. Now, normally I'd advise you to back out of this, but I know it's Muscafy, and I know these cars have a lot of grip, so I decided to go too wide through Blanchimont. You see my smile on my face again. I love good racing, and there we have it here as we go into the braking zone. We are past Muscafy then, and in towards, well, into third place and in towards lap number 11. Now, at this moment, I was trying to think of strategy. Do I want to change my tyres or not change my tyres? The Spa pit stop obviously has a very long pit stop in terms of time, so arguably it's probably not worthwhile, bearing in mind the tyres are still, you know, they were quarter one, 3 quarters still left. Who knows? I did see somebody go in the pits there, but we've got a fight on our hands with Muscafy here. And what I want you to focus now is on that rear view. And in fact, what we'll do, we'll look up. I noticed Muscafy stayed in the middle. That instantly pushes me over to... I didn't even see Muscafy flashing, to be honest. But when someone stays in the middle rather than follow your slipstream, they're telling you to come back over because they don't want to attack you. Just keep that in mind. On lap 12, I did decide to come in the pits out. And basically, if Amenti came in the pits, I was going to stay out. If Amenti stayed out, I came in the pits. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to change tyres. No need to worry about fuel. I was a bit unsure at the start initially about that, so I didn't rev the car. But yeah, the fuel is not an issue in this race at all, so you don't need to worry about it. We're going to leave the pits here, and we've got a GTR on our left-hand side. A very colourful GTR, in fact. That's Robomags going on by, so I know Robomags hasn't pit yet. And so I really do need to get by Robomags very quickly. However, these tyres do take a little bit of time to warm up, to be honest with you. So it's not a case of you will have much more grip very quickly. You've got to build that up again. So as we head towards Puan, I kind of realised it wasn't the best place to go for a move here in terms of maximising the time. It did cost me a couple of attempts here, but now I've got the run on Robomags. We're on the outside here, and I'm going to do the same move I tried earlier on to carry the momentum, carry the speed, and there we go. We are up into P4. We know No Man's Island is up ahead, hasn't pit. Blue Racer hasn't pit. Oh, sorry. No Man's Island has pit now. Blue Racer has just come in the pits as we go to lap 14. So Blue Racer was just waiting a little bit longer just to see the tyres and potentially traffic as well. It does mean there is some good strategy here. So you've got the choice there of changing or not changing. Also pitting a little bit later to avoid traffic, or going for the undercut potentially as well, but maybe you'll hit traffic. lots of strategy available here, which I do like. You may have noticed something here, though, that there is no wet weather. None at all. I tried to look, and there's definitely no wet weather here this week, which I think is a bit of a downfall of this race. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on, because first up, we've got a big old race with Blue Racer on our hands, straight into P2. So Menti's also been in the pits a little bit later on after Blue Racer. And here, I'm trying around the outside again. How many times have we done this move this race? I think that's third or fourth. Anyway, we're up into P2, but Blue Racer, of course, has the fresher tyres. They came in later than me, so they are going to have the fresher tyres towards the end of this one as we go through the right-hander here. Now, I'm trying to break slipstream very quickly here. I want to break away, so I want to nail the chicane, the bus stop chicane, break away, get a half-second gap, then nail turn one, try and get up to a second, and once I'm a second, I'm pretty much going to bolt away. That was the plan. However, Blue Racer had a different opinion on this, as you can see. Blue Racer catching up to me very quickly. I go defensive because, again, I want to defend this place. I want to maximize this. I go a little bit too deep there as we go into the left-hander and continue on out of here. Blue Racer maintaining a very close gap then, which does mean slipstream comes into play, and that's what I was referring to a little bit earlier on in the key statistics. Slipstream is critical here if you want to go for a move, or if you want to try and break away. It's really difficult to do. You really have to nail the middle sector in order to break away from someone, otherwise you're not breaking away. The Blue Racer there, 3 tenths or 3.5 tenths more behind me as we head up to Rouge and Radion then. And we're going to go up here, and you're going to see how much that gap closes then. It's down to 2.5 tenths already. So that's 1 tenth gained. Another tenth gone now, so 1.5 tenths to go. Blue Racer still catching me. That's 3 tenths made up there. So you have to be a good half a second ahead, really, to make sure you keep the position. And what we're going to do is go side by side into Lake Colne. Look at this. Beautiful racing action. I try and maintain that speed round the outside. Go to the inside for this right-hander then. We're still there, and I'd make sure to give Blue Racer just enough space there as we head down towards this right-hander. I'm still there, still side by side. Beautiful racing this. This is what I enjoy. I always say it's really good racing as we do maintain position for now. So I'm like, right, okay, I need to break away. I have to break away. You can notice the gap has increased to 4 tenths. Blue Racer kept up though. Lap 19 in towards the left we go. No idea what the last lap was when I was commentating. We're going to head towards bus stop chicane. I'll keep it towards the right hand side here as we go onto the brakes then, slowing the car down. And Blue Racer was trying around the outside. Going to be the inside here. And Blue Racer gets it done then. So I just back out of that. I'm like, okay, let's wait for the Kemmel straight then. That's where I'm going to go for the re-overtake. So you've got to think about strategy here. As we get towards the end of a race as well, especially at Spa with this many laps, you do have to think about it. And look at Blue Racer. Decides to let me go here to go for the run. So Blue Racer's thinking the exact same as me. Blue Racer's going, right, I've got fresher tyres. I need to get by Tidge before the end of the Kemmel straight so I can annihilate the middle sector and break away. Blue Racer unfortunately miscalculated that. Doesn't actually catch up to me here, so this is my chance to try and break away. And it's this cat and toe. It's the chess match, essentially. Who's going to come up with the best strategy here? So, lap 20. We're heading towards Blanchimont. Blue Racer's caught me up again. So you can see those fresh tyres are really working well now for Blue Racer. Going to go towards the inside of Blanchimont. So, hey, why not? We've already done it once this race. Let's go again, side by side through Blanchimont. And Blue Racer gets the job done here then. Already passed and goes towards the inside, hard on the brakes in towards the bus stop chicane. And what you're seeing here, by the way, is good racing. And I do like this race because you can have good racing. But remember what I said in the key statistics. You will find this race very boring if you're on your own. It's 50 minutes of time trialing, essentially, if you're on your own. So you have to have these battles. Now, as we go on through the week, this race will get closer and closer. People will get more and more used to it. As you see, we're side by side here once again with Blue Racer. Phenomenal race in this one. Really good fun as we go in towards turn 1. Are we going to be the lead car? I have no idea yet. We're still side by side on exit. And what I'm going to do now is try and avoid some short shifting here to build a bit of a gap here to Blue Racer and make sure I've got a gap for the Kemmel straight. But this race will get better as the week goes on because everyone will get closer and closer, get used to the cars. Monday, it's not going to be the greatest day. Tuesday, a little bit better. If you get to Sunday, it might be a case that many people have given up on the race at that point. So you're looking around Thursday, Friday for the peak of the racing, in my opinion. We're side by side with Blue Racer, though, as we head towards Lake Combs. This time, Blue Racer is going to be on the inside. I'm on the outside. Going to be inside, then outside. Yes, lots to look at here. Still side by side. We're going to go into this right-hander. Look at this. Beautiful stuff again. Oh, this is so good. So good. And you're seeing you can race as well. So there is a custom slipstream in terms of this one, which does mean dirty air is reduced. If that dirty air wasn't reduced, this would be the worst race in history. But fortunately, you can race. So it does get a point in that regards in terms of the scores. And you can see the scores down below as well already. And you'll see the total score at the end of this one. So, we're about to start the penultimate lap, which is second to last lap for those who are wondering. And here we go. We've lost tons of time to Amenti, but we're having a brilliant race, so I don't really care at that point. Amenti's won this race. I'm just going for, P2 and a good race. That's what we're trying here. So once again, we are very close to Blue Racer. 0.2 of a second, which is a bit too close in my opinion. Again, I'm trying to get out the slipstream here, but maintain, be close enough here where I can actually get the slingshot. So I went to 6th gear early just to try and maintain that slingshot if I can to avoid any gear change issues. Here we go. There aren't any gear changes issues. I might just add there as well. So Blue Racer goes towards the inside here. Second to last attempt in terms of laps on this Kemmel straight then. And as we go into here, we are side by side once again. Yes, look at this. How many times have you seen this video now? I don't even know, but hopefully you are enjoying this one as we continue on through. Blue Racer defends it then, so we'll advance towards the end of this particular lap then. Blue Racer ahead. We're looking to try and get past. Now, at this moment, I was like, I need to get ahead. Remember, every time the lead car is on the Kemmel straight, they've basically stayed ahead. Unfortunately here, I'm trying around the outside. Is it going to work? It is, but Blue Racer's got the better exit there, better tyres as well. And Blue Racer's going to keep that position. So I'm thinking of what's happened in the previous couple of laps. I've been behind and it's not worked. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send it down the inside here towards turn 1. I do get it stopped in the apex, so clean dive in my opinion as we continue on out of here. Then Blue Racer 2 tenths behind. Has the strategy worked? Has it paid off? That is the question. Well, we head to Eau Rouge and Radion for the final time here. Blue Racer in the slipstream, 2 tenths of a second. So we know Blue Racer is going to get alongside here. It's all about where I position the car and can I make it work on the older tyres. We'll continue on to the Kemmel straight then. So I keep it towards the right hand side. Not a big slingshot for Blue Racer here either. So they head towards the braking zone. Can we keep it on the inside? That is the question. Hard on the brakes. In we go. As we continue on through here, Blue Racer trying to maintain the speed. Unfortunately, I got a tiny bit of wheel spin there. My own fault there. I misjudged it slightly, and Blue Racer gets to position. Brilliant race with Blue Racer, and you just get P2 there. Overall score there, 7 out of 10. Again, check out the comments in terms of all the details of the scoring for this race. But you can have a fantastic race here if you get the right person that you can race. Now, brake balance down the right-hand side. You can see that right there. Interestingly, for turn 1, you can use a 100 board, which is our normal brake marker. However, on the right-hand side, you've got a gap in the fence. It's the orange painted barrier there. There's a gap in it. Use that. You want to be last of the late breakers. That's what I highly advise you use here, and that's what we're going to use there. So we go onto the brakes then, in towards this one. We clip the inside. Second gear, early shift there. Now, you will suffer more power oversteer if you do that. So maintain first if you want to. Otherwise, second gear is the maximum way to get the time. And we head to Eau Rouge and Radion, which, as you've seen in the race, is absolutely flat. There is no worries there at all. Just try and straight line it as much as you can. But there are track limits on that, so you will have to be careful in terms of running and trying to straighten it too much. Right, Lacombe. So the start of the curve there is your brake marker. In fact, it's just after that leaves the screen. So I'm braking just after this. I'm just marking it here. But I'm going to brake just after that leaves the screen because this car has so much grip and you can brake extremely late and you want to carry the speed. That's what I'm going to try and do here. Second gear in towards the right, over towards the left. Maintain 80 miles an hour through there. Over towards the left. Third gear in the right. Lift off slightly just to make sure you make it around the corner and then continue to the next corner. It's all about carrying speed and momentum there. 80 miles an hour is the lowest you should go through Lacombe. This right-hander, once again, the start of the curve is your brake marker. And again, it's just after you've hit it, okay? So it's not now. It's when it gets to the bottom of your screen, you're going to hit the brakes. It is when you have a choice of going to first gear or staying in second. I advise staying in second gear, to be honest with you. Let the car roll as much as you can. And the final bollard on the right-hand side is your accelerating marker. When that gets to the edge of your screen, accelerate out the corner. Sometimes you'll get power oversteer. Sometimes the turbo doesn't kick up as much, so you will just accelerate absolutely fine out the corner. Just be a bit wary of that. The bollards do slow you down a little bit on this one, but you actually want to aim for them here because you just want to absolutely annihilate every single corner. Now, I've highlighted a marker here that I don't use, but it's a marker you can use, which is the break in the fence, again, on the right-hand side. If you want to use that, feel free to, but I wasn't using it. I was just trying to judge it accordingly here. So I dropped to second to get a bit of rotation. Highly advise you do that on a lot of these corners. Drop a gear and then up to third gear to accelerate out of them to avoid any power oversteer. We're going to head towards Pouhon now, and this is the latest I've ever broken for Pouhon, okay? So on the right side there, we've got the 2 white markers on the barrier. That is your brake marker. You're going to hit the brakes, drop to 4th gear, and chuck this car in. If you can maintain 140 miles an hour, you've nailed the perfect Pouhon. I don't on this particular lap. There's so much time in this lap. If you nail every single corner, it's just very hard to. Notice that I dropped to 134, but notice I ran out a little bit more. Now, you can go on the slippy stuff on this circuit. I'll explain that a bit more when we get to more slippy stuff because this car has so much grip again. So, 50 board or to start the curb here. Literally, as you get to that, you're going to hit the brakes. You can see I've hit the brakes right here. You don't want to brake too late for this corner. If you go too deep, you're going to compromise the exit overall of this long chicane. So, I'll brake early for this one. Stay in third gear and turn in. Let the car roll a little bit. Start accelerating. Then you're going to lift off as you go through here. Clip the curb and then accelerate out. Slippy stuff there. You can go on it. And I'll explain a bit more on this corner because this is where it's crucial. So just before you get to that curb there, you're going to hit the brakes. This is going to be down to second gear to get rotation and up to third gear to get the maximum acceleration, okay? So drop to second and then up to third as you go in. You should get a little bit of rotation as well in terms of the braking, and that's what we're aiming for here. So third gear, a boost out. Notice here, I'm going to go on the slippy stuff. You can go on the slippy stuff in this car and it will be fine. If you're on it for a long time, you'll struggle, but it's absolutely fine to just clip it and just really be aggressive on those corners with it, okay? You want to maximize your aggression for this lap. The blodge bomb was flat. The final corner isn't, though, because it's a chicane. And on the right side, we've got this billboard. So the very end of the billboard, as it leaves your screen, is your brake marker. And what you're going to do is brake all the way down to first gear. Don't brake too late for the chicane, okay? It's actually better to brake early and get a nice line than it is to brake too late. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I turn in, let the car hit the curb, over towards left-hand side. If you can literally touch the sausage, it will rotate you a little bit more. It's actually quite nice to do that. We head towards the line, and that's 204.628. And my ghost is available on the leaderboards to follow. Right, here we go with the bloopers then. So here's the vans. Did I push Hodgson off? That is the question. No, I didn't. So I was a bit worried there, but no, that's absolutely fine. And if you do use chase cam, probably not the race for you, that van one, actually. So in towards this corner. Oh, look at that. Beautiful sportsmanship. Now, we did say they had good sportsmanship when they came back on. Apparently, they were going to rear-end someone. They actually forced themselves off. Brilliant driving there by that driver. So, the Mazda, what happened here then? So, they took avoiding action on the Ukrainian, which really compromised the left-hander. Ukrainian to the barrier. Just unlucky there for Andre, to be honest with you. Nothing much there you could have done. And it is a corner that is very dangerous. Go aboard Marco then, who is representing Rory here as we go into the left-hander. Just understeered a bit too much onto the dirt and going to have dirt on their tyres as well, as you see me go on by. We're going to go to Daily Race C then. What happened with Lewis and the French driver here? So the French driver's in the old Lexus. They go a little bit deep then. Lewis on the inside. That's just a bit of a weird one, to be honest with you. I don't think Lewis should give that one up. It's just they've gone a bit too deep. They tried to come back, but Lewis is already there, and the speed difference is there. We're on board I think that's the Croatian driver there. Oh, more avoiding action. Brilliant sportsmanship there from Masnik. Really well played. As we go on board Ted, who is nudged a little bit out there. Not sure what's kicking off here. As we head towards the bus stop. We see some awesome sportsmanship here. And on the brakes, goes for avoiding action again. Ted there with the avoiding action. Brilliant stuff there. I think there was contact, but it wasn't massive contact, and the person has carried on. So, awesome sportsmanship. Comes on very safe and sound as well. Beautiful. Right, we're on board Turbo. What happens here then? Because there's a little bit of a clash between everybody here as we go into the braking zone. Norman. Ooh. I think that's just a bit racing, to be honest with you. A little bit of contact here. As we go into this right, there's just a bit more contact. It's just racing. And you will find that with these cars, to be honest with you, it can be hard to race because of the speed differences that exist. If you enjoyed this video, as always, do get a like and do subscribe to the channel. Stay in touch with all the latest content. That is it for this video, unfortunately. Two videos there to check out. Do check out the partners down below as well. GT Amiga, Coach Dave Academy. It's all down there for discounts and everything else. Thank you so much for watching, as always. And I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.